Welcome in, everybody, to another Early Edge Live. Coach is off today. He will be back tomorrow in the morning and for the afternoon show, but we have a great cast of characters ready to break down everything NBA, NHL, MLB. Let's get to it. Let's bring in the guys. And here they are. Okay. For the first time ever on Early Edge, Matt Severance. Matt, before you start, I just want to let people know, and I mentioned this on the early show, this guy's number one in NBA. Don't start blushing yet. Number one in NHL, number one in MLB. He works all hours. You'll see him posting pics in the middle of the night. In addition to writing most of the news and analysis pieces, the news pieces that go up on SportsLine. Matt Severance, welcome to the program.
Thanks. I have a understanding wife. What can I say? And not many hobbies.
So we are going to get into your plays for today, and we are going to get into Justin Perri's plays because nobody is hotter than Justin Perri. And Allan Bell, welcome aboard.
Glad to be here, boys. Excited.
All right. Well, let's get to it. The first thing, guys, we got to push the like button. You got to smash the like button. When we get to 100 likes, we're giving away 1 year free to SportsLine. When we get to 200 likes, we're giving away 2 additional 1-year subscriptions. And all I want you to do on that is put either over or under. What is your opinion on tonight's Suns Clippers? I have a strong opinion on this total, which we're going to get to in a second. But I just want you to put your Twitter handle and over or under, and then you will be eligible to win when we get to 100 likes and when we get to 200 likes. So let's do it. Again, I say this every time that Coach isn't here. You know, we know that he's the star, but when I'm here, we just have to do decent so that it doesn't look bad for me when he comes back. Okay, guys, let's get into it. 6 down to 4.5. The Clippers, the move is on the Clippers. The money is on the Clippers. Marcus Morris is widely expected to play. I don't believe he's even on the injury report. Matt, I'm going to lead with you. What's your play on the side or lean?
That is one thing I do recommend for NBA bettors. Wait till the 5:30 injury report. That's usually be the last main update. So that comes out on the official site. But I do lean now that it's dropped so much. I'll probably go the money line. I'm more of a money line guy when I can get it below -200, so that way I don't have to worry about a bad beat. But I'm definitely, now that it's at 4.5, I don't think I'm getting a lower unless Morris is ruled out. They just don't have a defensive stopper, which will lead to my total pick soon too. Definitely on the Suns.
Okay, so you're going to play the Suns -4.5. I think there's a chance it gets to 4. I really do. So,
I think so.
Yeah. You're looking at the game forecast page. You're looking at Jeff Hockman, who I respect a lot. He's on Clippers 5.5. He got a better number than the current number for the Clippers. Allan, let's go to you. What's your play on the side here?
Yeah, so I'm going to keep it simple. Suns 4.5, Suns 4 even better. And the reason being is this. Suns have won 8 straight. Suns have covered 8 straight. All 8 of those wins by 6 points or more. They've made money for me time and time and time again. There's no reason for me to jump off. And I'll say this, even if they don't cover it tonight, it's okay because you know what? I'm going to come right back with it. So, yeah, Suns spread. That's where I'm going.
Well, I will point out the Clippers led the game in the third and got within 2 late in that game, and then it did end up on 6. But you're right, 8 straight covers, unbelievable home team. Justin, what do you got on this side?
I've been watching the market sort of move down on this total. It opened at 224. We're seeing 222.5 now. I actually like this. I think I agree with the market movement. The under definitely is going to have some legs tonight. Marcus Morris is going to be someone to watch. I know he might not be on that injury report, but to see how well he plays coming off an injury is going to be a key factor to this one, in my opinion.
Okay, so you're going to go under. Looks like Allan and Matt are leaning with the favorite. I'm going to go over, and let's get into the total right now. I just think, okay, first game, 234. Look at the last 3 games since Kawhi went out. The Clippers, I mean, they outscored the Jazz in those last 2 games, but they're not defending right now. And the other factor is Chris Paul is not there. Chris Paul slows the game down. If you look at the metrics, Cameron Payne, it's a faster pace. And I think Kawhi being out also leads to a little faster pace. And I don't think either team can stop the other. So I'm going to wait because of the move that you're talking about, Justin, down to 222.5. I'm going to wait, see if I can get 222, but I love the over here. Matt, what about you?
Yeah, I agree. They're Paul George is a, all NBA caliber defender, but they need him to score so much with Kawhi out. They're kind of hiding him on defense to save his energy. So that's, Devin Booker did whatever he wanted. The Clippers can't rebound. They were dominating fast break points. I don't know why Ty Lue isn't using Patrick Beverley on Booker. Maybe he will this game, but he doesn't have the size, but he can, kind of pass through him a little bit. But yeah, I don't see how it doesn't go at least 225 points at least scored in this one.
I mean, some people will say the Suns shot over 55%. They're not going to do that again, but it really wasn't that uncharacteristic. I mean, Devin Booker hits those mid-range shots, and the Clippers don't defend the mid-range well, and the Clippers shot well from beyond the arc, and that's what they do. They're the number one three-point shooting team in basketball. So I'm on the over. Matt's on the over. Justin is going under. AB, what do you got on the total?
Yeah, I'm going to go over. I like your thought of, waiting, seeing if this line drops even further. But again, this is a game where the Clippers don't want to go down 0-2 again in their third straight series. Phoenix has shown that they, like you said, they actually play quicker, with CP3 out of the game. And I don't see any reason why, if you look at the fourth quarter, why either of these teams would slow down, because I think that we're going to have a pretty tight game. And I think both teams are going to be putting baskets in. So, yeah, I'm going to play the over on this one.
All right, Justin, it looks like it's 3-1 on the total. We'll see what happens. And again, everyone, please smash the like button. Put in your Twitter handle in the comment and let us know if you're going over or under tonight. Okay, let's talk a little bit quickly about the series price. It's up to minus 430, which is kind of unbelievable, given that I don't think it's a certainty that Kawhi doesn't come back. I mean, if Kawhi comes back and this team has been down 2-0, any value for you guys on the Clippers with any of the series props? Matt, how about you?
No, I don't think he's playing. I mean, if Waj says he has an ACL injury, then I believe he has an ACL injury. Waj is never wrong. So he's going to be a free agent this summer. I mean, he can opt out of his player option, which he will, so he can sign a longer deal. I don't think he's going to come rushing back and worry about losing next year and $40 million. So I don't think he's playing this series. So no, I don't think there's any value whatsoever.
What about Suns? Like, I kind of like a minus 1.5 games. It's minus 200 at William Hill. That all they have to do is win 4-2. Any takers for that series price?
It's a high juice for sure, but I'm with you. I think the Suns are a better team. I think that they really don't have too terribly many problems taking care of the Clippers in this. I could absolutely see them winning 4-2. But yeah, I mean, that juice price is high. I get that.
Justin, how about you? Any interest in getting involved in the series prices?
I probably agree with Allan there. The juice is just a little bit too big for me, and I do err on the side of the Suns being able to do this. So I'd probably pass. You probably missed your opportunity a little bit. You probably needed to get in on that before they took game one. So I'll let it be, but I do think that would be the play if it was priced better.
Okay, well, let's get into the props. Ton of good props available on this one. A lot of different opinions. And first, we're going to look at Mad Max, what he is doing tonight. And our producer, John, is going to put all of Mad Max's props up on the screen. Mad Max, our 21-year-old prop expert, currently recuperating from some oral surgery. I'm wishing you a speedy recovery, Mad Max. Oh, I love the graphic there. I love it. I love it. So Mad Max is going big tonight. I think he's watching this at home, resting, recovering. Over 6.5 rebounds for Booker. Booker double-double. Paul George over 30.5. Mikal Bridges over 12.5. And DeAndre Ayton over 15.5 points. I have some of the supporting evidence for this, and I want to get to that. Booker is, according to Mad Max, he's gone over the rebound number 6 of the last 8, double-digit rebounds 4 of the last 6. And in terms of the assists, the 2 games Chris Paul has missed, Booker has 8 and 11 assists. He's going for double-double, and he's doing a sprinkle on a triple-double. I love the rebound prop. I'm sorry, I love the assist prop. Over 6.5 assists is one that I love as well for Devin Booker. What do you guys think of any of these props that Mad Max is going with?
I love the double-double. I think for what you just said, I mean, there's an opportunity there, whether it's assist or rebounds, because you're going to get it on the other side. So, yeah, I mean, plus 200, that's worth a ride for me.
Hey, Mikey, welcome to the show.
What's up, guys?
M Squared jumps in. Good to see you. So, Mike,
Yeah.
Before we get back into the props, we've all sort of laid out where we're going on either side or total. Do you have a strong lean on either of those?
The lean would definitely be on the Suns, and the under would be where I would be leaning on it. I think that we see things tighten up defensively just a little bit in this spot, but that's where the model edge on it. Like, I have this number. I don't even know what the number is currently, but I have it at 5.7 in the simulation. So it would be a lean on Phoenix, but the total is definitely where I have the biggest edge.
What? Okay, well, let's hear it.
Where's I should say
Oh,
that's
222 and a half.
Yeah, I have it at 219.8.
Wow.
Is where my total is, but just expecting defensively to tighten up, but it's not something that I bet, not something that I feel super great about, because without Kawhi out there, and you touched on the pace of play a little bit, I heard with Chris Paul. My only reasoning for this is we know the majority of the shot attempts and the point scoring is going to be attempted to be coming from Paul George and Devin Booker. I think that if this one remains ultra competitive throughout, that we see this thing slow way down late third quarter, early fourth quarter, as we see a lot more ISO. We see a lot more using of the shot clock between these two. At least that's what I'm telling myself as the computer tells me that it's going to be under 220. So that's my thought process. That's the computer's thought process. We'll see if I'm right.
All right. Well, I like that we've got two against two now, me and Matt against Justin and Mike and their computer models. But anyway, if we could, let's go back to the props, because I want to dive into these props a little bit more. We're looking at Mad Max's props. I love Booker over the assists. He's got Booker over rebounds. He's got Booker double-double. Paul George averaging 33 points and 24 shots in the series so far. And you have to expect, if Marcus Morris is not 100%, that volume is going to be there, if not more. Mikal Bridges got over late in the fourth quarter, hit, a couple of dunks and a tray. I think he could have a faster start. He had a terrible start to game one. And then DeAndre Ayton. There is no matchup on the Clippers for DeAndre Ayton. I mean, if you want to go small, he's gonna dominate. If you want to use Cousins or Zubats, he's much more agile, in my opinion. I love this one. PropStars had it at 14.5. Mad Max is on it at 15.5. I like those. I like both of those. Anybody want to jump in on these props? Go ahead.
I have some thoughts on the Booker one. Out of all of the Booker ones, I do love the assists. That's the one that I have the clear edge on the over there. I don't mind the sprinkle on the triple double. The rebounds, while he did go out and get a lot of rebounds the time before, I think that's the one that I always think that he could potentially fall short on in this particular matchup, and just what they're going to be asking him to do without Chris Paul on the floor.
So let's go ahead and add that, because I love the assist one too. So let's go ahead and add that as a play that we're on, from this show. I'm looking it up right now on William Hill. Last I saw it was 6.5 assists, and I'm still getting to that. But if somebody has that, let me know. And anybody else want to chime in on the props? Matt, how about you?
The 8 and 1 would be my favorite on the board there. He's so happy to have to chase around Jokic all game that. Yeah, he'll grab every rebound. He'll probably get 20 points and just layups alone. So that's of those that you're showing, that would be my favorite one easily.
Oh, and it's Booker is minus 140 for the 6.5 assists. Mike, I know you don't like to lay that much in general, but I'll go ahead and lay it because I really love that, especially after a guy scores 40. There's got to be more defensive attention, which means more open lanes. I think he's going to get 3 lobs to Ayton for 3 of those assists. At least. And also the triple double went down from, I think it was plus 2,000. And Max was telling me it fell all the way to plus 1,400. What do you guys think of that?
Well, I like plus 2,000 a lot more than I like plus 1,400, but I think I started touching on it a little bit. I think that the rebounds are likely to be the issue. Matt kind of mentioned DeAndre Ayton's going to be swallowing up a lot of those boards. That's what it comes down to for me. An increased defensive attention on Booker. I look for more facilitating. He's obviously going to get there on the scoring, but some of that might keep him further away from the basket on both ends of the floor. So that's my thoughts on it.
Has anyone had their first triple-double ever and then followed up with their second immediately? I wonder if that's ever happened in NBA playoff history. I'm guessing not.
That'd be
Probably
good
not.
to research. And yeah, Matt, speak up because the crowd says they want to hear you louder. Justin, how about you? Any props you either like or dislike on this board or something else off this board that you like?
No, I definitely agree with Matt. I'm on that DeAndre Ayton prop when Max posted it. I sort of dug in, and it looks like it's going to have some legs. He's going to be able to get some buckets inside. I think he's part of the key for this offense to open up the rest of what they're able to do on the wings. So look for Ayton to keep getting opportunities to shoot the ball and get some easy layups. I'm definitely in on, taking Mikal Bridges as well. I think he's going to be an important auxiliary piece. And then something that isn't on the board, potentially even campaign, getting more of these touches with Chris Paul out. He's more of that secondary ball handler for this offense. I believe his line for assists is sitting around 6.5. I don't hate that one going over either, as I do think he'll continue to be a distributor.
And Dakota in the chat. Did I interrupt anyone? Is anyone gone?
I have more thoughts on it. I don't want to dominate the conversation on it, but I love a lot of these plays here. I think that based on what Justin just said, we all are in agreement on Booker over on the assists. Justin likes the over on campaign on assists. If we like both of those plays, I think that Mikal Bridges over 12.5 points is going to be a correlated play to those two. So it's one that if you're betting over on assists for two players on one game, you need to be looking at who's going to be scoring those baskets and look at some of those assist networks. Mikal Bridges is the one that stands out. And frankly, he's key to the Suns' success, right? Like I think that this number is 2 points too low in my median at an even money play. So based off the simulations, the Mikal Bridges at 12.5 is the strongest play here on that board. But just make sense, make logical plays. So if you're looking at two different players for assists over on the same team, you're going to have to try and find where those assists are going, right? And to me, it's Bridges and Ayton. So I love what we've got on the board there.
Okay, great. And Dakota in the comments wants to know about Jay Crowder over or under 11.5. I don't have a strong lean on that. He wants to go over. Anybody agree or disagree with that?
Nope.
I mean, he's been right around there. 14, 11, 14, 9, 13, last 5 games. He's got to hit his threes. He was 3 of 7 in game 1, and he went over. If you think that Booker's going to get a lot of attention and he's going to get the open threes, then, maybe you go over. Now, what about we got a lot of questions in here. Reggie Jackson over 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I really like this play coming from Sterling Gentry in the chat, I believe. Yeah, no, from Got to Get the Bag. What do you guys think of that one? I like that.
Yeah,
I'm a little unsure on Crowder for sure. It's definitely going to be tough. I think he benefits a lot from Chris Paul. So I'm probably staying off of Jay Crowder for sure until Paul makes his way back into the lineup.
But what about Reggie Jackson? I mean, this guy's is playing at an unbelievable level. And
he's getting shots now.
Yeah, and I think he could keep it up. I don't see any reason why he couldn't do this again.
Hey, I'll say this, talking about Reggie Jackson. I looked at the other side of the ball. You can find props on 2+ steals, roughly plus 225, somewhere around there. I think you've got a great opportunity for that tonight.
Yeah, I like the Reggie Jackson play. You look at, obviously, the two things that you want are usage and minutes. And extended minutes is exactly what we're getting from Reggie Jackson. So far to the point that it's like well beyond his baseline. So his baselines for most of the season, we're talking 26, 28 minutes kind of thing. We're playing 37 to 40 in all of these games. And we have a usage rate that's approaching 30%. That's why you look at a player like this and you're seeing some of these numbers and some of these PIR numbers, and you might even your head might want you to think under, but you're looking at a guy that's playing almost 40 minutes with a 30% usage rate. That's superstar level usage. And he's taking 15 plus shots in each of the last 3 games. So as
And
long as
he took 12 trays last game.
The only problem is Rondo going to eat in, or Beverly going to eat into those minutes at some point, whether it's Beverly for defensive reasons. But I think Reggie's aggressive enough defensively that he's not gonna lose minutes randomly in this spot. So yeah, I like the over quite a bit on this one.
And I like it just because he's a guy. I mean, he was the guy. He was the leading scorer, for a long time in his career. He was the main man. It's not like a role player, not the typical role player is what I'd say.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what Mike's saying here. He definitely has that big uptick in moments, and getting those minutes and getting those minutes and getting those shots up is what's going to be really important here.
And guys, I think we're close to 100 likes. We got to get to 100. Let's give out that 1-year free subscription. Let's do it. Smash the like button. Let's get it done. All right. I'm looking at some other props here that are coming in. Kyle Donahue, Bridges 3-pointers, at least 3 plus 205, at least 4 plus 610. I don't know. I think plus 205 is worth a shot with Bridges. He started off cold last game. Let's see what did he finish last game?
Shooting from 3,
2 of 6.
2 for 6 last game. Yeah,
2 of 6. Okay. I mean, we all love Bridges, so I think there's value. I'm not playing the plus 610 one.
He's only hit the mark once in the playoffs, so it's at 4 at least, and he's gotten 3 in another 2 times. So I think this is a little bit of a rough gamble in terms of trying to get to 3-pointers made for him. You're probably better off, hoping he scores 15 plus points or something, or go with the PRA method, because he has been rebounding a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. So one thing that I'm looking at when you look at, like, you need 3-pointers, you need 3 of them to be made, right? So just roughly assuming 35 to 40% shooting is what you're going to need. Like, I need that player to attempt 10 threes consistently for me to really, or at least have shown me that he's willing to take 10 threes. You go look at a game log. I'm looking at it now. 8 was the most he's taken. He's taken it a few times in the Denver series, but he hasn't had a game all season where he's attempted 10 threes in a game. So that's a little concerning for me.
He's too unselfish. I mean, he's an unbelievable player, but you're right. He's not selfish enough. I don't think it's bad, because I think he's going to come out hot. I think 2 games in a row he doesn't come out ice cold like he did. Are we at, producer John? Are we at 100 likes? Let's see.
We are. Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
I've been told.
We are going to give away a free 1-year subscription. As soon as I get the name, I'm going to let everybody know. But let's get into baseball, because Justin, I think we've waited long enough. We've danced around it. You've got some 6 streak going on. It's like 8-0 on the show, maybe 12. I don't even know what it is. Let's get your best play for tonight. MLB. Let's hear it.
So I would say my best play for the evening is going to be the Seattle run line. I know Matt also is going to be on the Seattle side today. I just, I've talked about it a lot in and out of the season. It's really hard to go from this environment at Coors Field into somewhere like Seattle, where just the air density and the ability to hit the ball is so drastically different. The Rockies have historically struggled all season in this spot. I don't think that changes tonight. I'm taking Seattle on the run line. I expect them to win by multiple runs behind Chris Flexen. I think it's a good bet.
I believe Freeland has like a 9-something ERA. I played it on the money line already, but I love it on the run line too. And they're also 9-3 with Flexen on the mound. He threw 8 shutout innings last time. Freeland has been a disaster last 3 starts. So I love this play for Jay Smooth. Anybody else want to chime in on this matchup, Mariners and Rockies? Matt, how about you?
Yeah, I got it at a good price at 140 before, like, late last night before it started going up. I think you had to wait till it was like 170. So yeah, I completely agree. But I was happy with 140. So
that's amazing. Yeah, Matt does that. Matt's up at all hours. So you got to turn on your notifications to get Matt's picks, and then you can act right when he acts and not wake up in the morning and see 160 or 170. That was a great play. Matt, let's switch it up. Let's go to one of your best MLB plays for tonight.
I like the Giants. I don't really understand why they're underdogs in Anaheim. Team with the best record in baseball against a 500 team. I don't get it. The Giants have scored at least 5 runs in 7 straight games, and they're going to a better hitter park. They get to add the DH. They're 13-4 in their past 17 on the road. Of course, the Angels are without Trout. I have a feeling, I'm not guaranteeing it, but Shohei Ohtani could sit out because they play again tomorrow afternoon. He's pitching. So I don't know if they're going to have him play. I know it's just DH, but that's a quick turnaround if they're going to make him pitch, like 6-7 innings tomorrow afternoon. So DeScalfini has like a 2.21 road ERA, 181 opponents batting average away, and Andrew Heaney, he has a 5.04 road ERA or home ERA. He was good in San Francisco a few weeks ago, but getting the Giants at plus money, I mean, they're just clearly the better team. I think that's a great play.
I love that. Giants have been making a lot of money for a lot of people lately. We are going to announce our winner, T Nelson 1023. That's the Twitter handle. Congrats. You have won a 1-year subscription to SportsLine. Producer John or Jacob will be getting in touch. So congrats, guys. Let's get to 200. If we get to 200 likes, we're giving away 2 more subscriptions. AB, you've been quiet. Let's hear some of your MLB plays for tonight.
Yeah, definitely. So this isn't a play of mine, but just backing up what Severance was just saying. I mean, the Giants, you look at it, the last 7 games, they're up from 5 runs a game to 8.4. I mean, they've just been putting runs on the board constantly. So I could see why he likes that play. It's a good one. Here's the deal. I've got 2 plays, MLB, and this is exactly what I'm going with. We're going to go the White Sox against the Pirates. Now, look, you're going to have to pay a lot of juice to take them on the money line. Take the run line, right? And Larry, I know that you talked about this earlier. It's basically what the White Sox have done against left-handed starters. 18-5 this season, 35-6 in their last 41. And you look at what the White Sox have done for their last 5 and featured 10 runs or more. This is a game where the White Sox have to get their bats going again. It's been a little bit of a rough stretch for them, and I think it's a perfect opportunity for them to do it. So White Sox run line, take it. They're going to mash. Second game is this. You look at the Red Sox and the Rays. All right. The over is hit in 8 of the last 9 between these two. 3-0 this season. The Red Sox are 3-0 versus the Rays this season. Okay. So I know that the Rays are 2-0 when Kittredge starts. Yeah, it's pretty good. But again, this over is going to hit, especially when you're sitting at 7.5. It's not a tough one to go out there and grab. You don't have to get 9, 9.5, 10, anywhere around there. So 7.5, I'm playing that over Red Sox Rays.
Can someone check if that is still 7.5? Because that also seems low to me. The Red Sox games, the last 7 games, are averaging 12.5 runs.
A couple of offshores have it up at 8 already.
Okay, so it is. If you can get 7.5, to me that seems like a great play. And
can I disagree on one of those picks?
For sure, let's have it. That's what we want. Let's do it.
I'm a White Sox fan, so I hope they slaughter the Pirates. But I just think the fade's coming. They're just too banged up. They just lost, of course, Madrigal. He's one of their best right-hand hitters against lefties. They just lost Adam Engel back. Their outfield tonight is Brian Goodwin, I think Lurie Garcia, and some other clown I should know. Hold on 1 second. It's just they got Abreu. They got Mercedes out of the lineup because there's no DH, but he's been terrible for a month. I'm sure they'll beat the sorry Pirates, but that's just a dangerous one for me. By the way, that Danny Mendick at second. They're not even playing Yasmin Grandal tonight. They're playing Zach Collins. I'd be a little wary of the White Sox on that one, just for argument's sake, only because I'm a White Sox fan. So,
well, that doesn't make me feel good because that was my official play this morning. So that does not make me feel good. Mikey, where did you come down on this game?
Yeah, so I wanted to play that this morning, and then got a lot closer look at it. I think that I'm probably more interested in playing it now with the market movement coming back in favor of the Pirates. I think it's really close to efficient now. What Matt said, I kind of talked about it earlier today with Justin too. Them losing Mercedes, while he hasn't been great recently against left-handed pitching, it is a very significant loss. He's arguably, when he's right, maybe their best hitter against left-handed pitching in terms of that power component. And a lot of it is a component of also of where he's going to be hitting in the lineup, which is typically with Tim Anderson and Moncada already on base, right? So that is significant. You remove the designated hitter from the lineup, but what I was not expecting was for them to be without Mercedes and Yasmani Grandal both. I understand that Collins can be okay defensively, but he's certainly just an interesting decision, right? It's a left-handed hitter losing the platoon advantage when you've got 2 guys. I know Mercedes is not a defensive catcher. Would I be more willing to have him start in this matchup because of the plus he offers at the plate? Probably so, honestly, with a guy like Giolito on the mound and a league shift and a park shift that he should be able to manage. I'd much rather have the offense in there. They didn't go that route. That's why you're going to see people jump on the Pirates. I could see playing the White Sox on a closing line if you want to, but generally not something I recommend.
And I see one of our viewers is asking about NBA prop bets. We are going to circle back and go over the NBA plays and the NBA props a little bit later on. Justin, I think you have a second play that you love tonight.
Yeah, I do. Before I get to it, I'm just going to quickly talk on that White Sox game for a minute. I actually was really interested in this one, and I do think the White Sox are going to cover, but I'm going to say that it's going to happen late if it's going to happen at all. I think that, Anderson, the pitcher for the Pirates tonight, has actually been sneaky at home. His split ER, his home away split is pretty notable. At home, his ERA is 3.79, and on the road it's 6.06. So he's been able to limit some pretty good offenses at this park. He doesn't necessarily pitch long into games. You can expect he'll be out of the game before the 7th inning, possibly mid-6th inning. But, he hasn't really succumbed to any serious lineup. He held the Dodgers to 2 runs at the stadium in just 2 starts ago on June 9th. So I sprinkled a little bit on the first 5 under in this one. I think the hitting conditions are a little subpar, and we might be able to get a slow start. So just a little sprinkle for me. But yeah, getting into my other play that I really like tonight, I'm going to a trend that has been hitting all season. Currently, the under at Citi Field sits at 26-3. Or 27-3. I think, obviously depends where you get your line. There's always a little bit of a gray area there. But the under % at home for the Mets has been unbelievable. And with 2 pitchers going tonight that have been performing well, I'm not afraid to go back to this. Stroman, his expected numbers are a little higher than what he has been throwing. He's been doing better than what you might expect. But I do think at home, he will be able to perform again tonight and limit the amount of runs on the board.
Okay. I like it, Justin. I like it.
I don't know why the Mets are underdogs in that game either. I took them on the money line.
I like that too.
And Matt, do you have any other plays that you really like tonight? And then I want to get into the hockey game. We have a big hockey game tonight as well.
I might start leaning Toronto just because George Springer has been activated, so that makes their lineup that much better. But for now, I do like the Yankees on the run line behind Garrett Cole against Kansas City. This will be Cole's first start since the official crackdown, and there was some concern that he was one of the biggest cheaters, allegedly. So that'll be interesting to see when he first. I guarantee they're going to check him. But he's been good.
That doesn't worry you at all. And he said
he had one bad start like 3 starts ago when it first came out, and maybe he, I don't know, figure something else out. But he's been good since. He's on 5 days of rest, and on 5 days of rest this season he has a 2.20 ERA. And 78 strikeouts with 40 hits allowed in 57.1 innings.
Wow. Now
Kansas City is without his 2 best offensive players, arguably, and Mondesi and Benintendi. So I don't see how the Yankees don't win this by a couple runs, even with Gary Sanchez getting the night off because Cole's got his personal catcher. But it should be a blowout by far.
Well, that is why you're on the show, and I'm sorry to interrupt you. To give us those stats on Cole on 5 days rest, that's exactly why, Matt, you are number 1 in MLB right now. So, but let's get to NHL. We have a huge Game 5 tonight in the playoffs. And let's get, Matt, you're the number 1 in NHL. What is your play? We can see it on the screen there. Under 5.5 Canadians.
Yeah, I haven't picked the money line yet. I'm waiting on the news. Chandler Stevenson, the Knights' number 1 center. It's a huge money line. I mean, it's not really great value, but I think the Canadians' puck line is a concern because in playoff games, you run the risk of the team down a goal, pulling their goalie with like 4 minutes left. They give up 2 quick goals. They lose by 2-3 goals, and you lose that. And actually almost happened in Game 1. The one game Stevenson played was Game 1, and the Knights won 4-1. So if he's playing, I'm going to take that huge money line. I'm just kind of waiting to see what he does. The under, I don't think you're going to find it anymore. I literally was waiting all day. It's been at 5. Every single game's gone either landed on 5 or gone under. So as soon as I saw it, I jumped it. My recommendation would be to do an alternate goal line of 5.5 if you can't find 5. But so I'll end up parlaying the money line most likely on the Knights and the under for sure.
What would you pay for that if it's an alternate line, how much would you pay?
Well, let's see what it is right now.
Is it higher than 120 or is it?
Let's see.
Anybody else want to chime in on this hockey game?
Yeah, I'll do it while he's looking that up.
Go ahead,
look, I don't like all the juice that's on this game. It's a ton, especially the Golden Knights. When you look at 4 games, scores have been 5, 5, 5, and 3. I think the power play has been the biggest problem for Vegas. They're 0-11. The Canadians are only 1-6 on theirs as well. But I do wonder, and I'm not making a pick on it by any means, but I wonder if Vegas is in a spot bet opportunity similar to what the Lightning were last night. At some point, this series has to open up, right? Is tonight at home with a raucous crowd in Las Vegas, is tonight that night? I don't know the answer, but I asked the question because at some point it's going to happen.
Fleury's going to start, and I think he's going to be awesome after being embarrassed by being pulled from the last game. So I expect this to be a multi-goal Vegas win. But again, I want to just confirm Stevens is playing before I take that ridiculous number.
Got it. And did you find out how much you would have to pay to go
160 for 5.5.
Whoa. So would you be willing to do that if you did not get
I think
in?
so.
You would. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's do it. Let's go under 5.5. But what about, would you not rather also have under 5 and you just end up pushing?
No, I don't like pushes. I refuse to bet any total in baseball, football, hockey without a half on. I don't see the point. It's like wasted all my day, all my bandwidth now.
You just want to be really happy or really upset?
I'm winning or losing. Yeah, I'm going home mad or sad. That's it.
Okay. Mikey, anything on the hockey game tonight?
I've got nothing on the hockey game, unfortunately. I stopped doing anything related to it in the regular season. So unfortunately,
Okay.
I have nothing for you.
All right. Okay. Well, before we get back to NBA, let's ask Mikey, anything else jumping out at you on the MLB card tonight?
One thing I like to make fun of myself when I'm wrong sometimes. I was wrong about Miami. They did not open the roof. All the signs indicated that they were going to open the roof today. Relatively mild day across the country, mild in Miami. I'm a little stunned that they didn't. Correct on the assessment that Springer would be activated and playing today, so that helps. I'm still on the over in that game. So I think Alcantara struggles with this lineup.
And tell us, you're still big on the Cardinals for tonight.
Yes, still like the Cardinals tonight. Like this team a lot against left-handed pitching. They are simply just a better team against the lefties. So Skubal he's a really high variance pitcher, kind of that true outcome guy. Like it's the ball's going over the fence or they're striking out, right? We say it a lot in Major League Baseball, but that's truly what the deal is with him.
That's every
this
time
could be a spot,
really.
Right? Essentially. With him against this particular lineup, it's not going to stun me at all if he has his 8 to 10 strikeout performance, gives up 3 multi-run home runs, and they're down 7-3 at some point here. But I love this Cardinals lineup. 9 or 8 right-handed batters facing for him. I mentioned it on the early edge, 2.5 home runs per 9 innings. In a pretty meaningful sample size now for Skubal. It's not good. When the ball's getting put in play, he is getting hit hard. Goldschmidt, Arenado, Molina, Paul DeJong is back. I like DeJong hitting at the bottom of this lineup. Some of that is to get him motivated to play well again, but I like that this lineup is strong with 6, 7, and 8 in this lineup is going to be Molina, Sosa, and DeJong. I like that a lot coming up in front of the top of that order. So all over the Cardinals.
All right. And Allan, they want to know if you have any College World Series plays for tonight.
Yeah, so tonight we've got Mississippi State and Virginia. So here's the deal. You're going to get Mississippi State minus 135 on the money line. Virginia is going to be plus 115. Look, with Virginia, you're going to get a very solid fundamental baseball team. We saw what they did against Tennessee. Takes them a little bit to open the bats up, but they pitch well. And what you're going to get tonight is another excellent pitcher that throws hard. However, there are some control issues on this one. Mississippi State 135 is an excellent money line play. If you want to take that, parlay it with something that you feel good about, I think that you're strong. Here's the thing. Both of them are excellent baseball teams. Mississippi State has been here over and over and over again to Omaha. They haven't pushed through. This is the opportunity for them to do it. with teams like Vanderbilt losing yesterday, which is still killing me, by the way. But this is the time to do it. Roll with Mississippi State. I know it's a little bit of juice. That team gets it done tonight.
All right, let's do it. Hey, guys, I'm going to sign off. I got to get ready for HQ in a few minutes. Mikey is going to, and the rest of the gang are going to take you guys home. Let's get to 200 likes. We're closing in, and then Mikey will give away 2 one-year subscriptions to SportsLine. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Nice.
How's it going, Larry?
All
All right,
right.
boys. Well, here's the deal. I'm in charge now, and it could be trouble
Let's
for
go.
everybody. So what I want to do is this, is we're going to jump back in the NBA real quick, right? Let's take a look at the game that we have tonight. All right, so we've got the Suns, we've got the Clippers. Suns obviously lead that series 1-0. Spread is down 4.5, 222.5 total. Let's just jump back in. Where do you guys feel on the spread? Where do you guys feel on the total? We don't have to go, fully into props, but if you have one strong that you like, throw it out there. Double M, Mike McClure. I'm gonna throw it to you first, Mike.
Yeah, no. So as far as the spread, I'm going to be leaning towards the man. That echo is getting bad. I don't know what it is, but that echo is getting bad there. So I lean towards the Suns on the spread. I lean towards the under on the total in this one. I have it all the way down to 219.8 in the simulations. It was 5.7. So the number that Jeff got there at plus 5.5 is really pretty close, pretty efficient. I understand the market movement just a little bit. Once you're approaching 5.5 to 6 in the NBA, it's a big spread. It's a big number. So I like the Suns at anything 5 and less. And if you're getting 6 somehow and above, I would be on the other side on the Clippers.
Nice. So let me ask you guys this, and I'll kick it to you, Matt, Justin. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. As we see a spread go down like that, drop from 6, 5.5, 5, 4.5, maybe even 4. Where does it get? Where does the money line number get to you to where you look at it and say, okay, well, it's actually kind of dropped enough to where I might jump on it. And I know it's different for every game. But does that kind of thought process go into your head when you see a spread dropping, but you like that team? Mike, I'll throw it back to you real quick. Yeah. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'll run with it. I mean,
Yeah,
I think, it usually takes a good amount for me. And in that scenario, I'm definitely waiting for the very last minute to continue to watch the market move. I'm not hastily running and being oh man, that's great value, I'm going to get it right now. I'm sort of watching the pulse, waiting for the lines to get closer and closer to finish. Like Matt mentioned, you usually want to wait for that 5:30 injury report to see just who's going to be in the lineup, just what those final notes are from each team. But yeah, I think it's starting to get to a place where I'm getting comfortable on that money line to avoid, losing by 5 or, whatever that might actually happen. But yeah, especially in a parlay now, if you want the Suns, I think you're getting close to some good parlay value for sure.
Nice. Severance, I throw it to you, buddy. What do you like? Spread, total, a prop you like?
Well, at least 4 times these playoffs, I've won on a game on the money line that I would have lost on the spread because of some BS late basket. So I've always been kind of a spread guy because I always usually bet. I have a couple ways. Like in baseball, when I first wake up, I look for home underdogs that get a good one-line price, number 1. Number 2, I look for 2 medium, between 4 and 6 point favorites. It really doesn't even, football, basketball. I'm like, okay, I'm going to parlay 3 of those. If I can't get a team that's going to win 90% of the time, that's a 4 to 6 point favorite. And I can't get them all right, then I don't deserve to be doing this. Of course, the 76ers destroyed me on Sunday, so it doesn't always work. So I am more of a money line guy, honestly. I don't want to take the sweat out of it. I mean, it's kind of like the half point on half points or half goals, whatever. By the way, breaking news: Abdul Nader is also out tonight, so I didn't know that. That changes my whole perspective on this game. Of course, joking. They are listing Morris with as a prop over under 11.5 points. So I guess William Hill thinks he's going to play. So
I like it. Now, everybody in the chat, we want to get to 200 likes. We're almost there. Everybody, drop in your handle. Let's get it going. Let's get these likes. We've got a lot of opportunities. And everything to give out. Let's get to 200 likes. Let's get it. Now, I've got a question while we do that. Here it is. Now, Mike, I hear you talk about gambler's fallacy a lot, right? And I think that you're onto something. And onto something. Obviously, it's brilliant, but onto something with tonight, right? So we've got a Brewers at Diamondbacks game where the Diamondbacks get a win, okay? Now, they're 1-17 in their last 18. Okay. Do you take any of that into consideration when you're looking at a game tonight saying, okay, the Diamondbacks got them one at home. I'm going to jump right back on the Brewers? Or, again, does it just matter, pitching matchups, et cetera, things like that? Like, are there anything that goes in your head when you look at a big kind of gambler's, fallacy, in a game like tonight?
Not necessarily, no. It's mostly going to be just that individual night, the individual matchup. Obviously, we're dealing with humans and not something as simple as a coin flip. So it's never going to be a true defined outcome like that. Definitely not linear in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, overall, not so. I actually caution about it a lot. Like when I'm hot and have a big run, or cold, have a big run, many people will want to play more, play less, things like that. And the events are not related in any way. They are totally should be treated independently. So I personally, I wouldn't know things like that other than you telling me them, right? So not something that I really consider, frankly.
I love it. No, that's good advice. And Matt, Justin, I want to get your thoughts on that as well. But really quickly, we've got 200. We've got 200 likes. We're good to go. So everyone in the chat, drop your Twitter handle. Tell us who you think is going to get the number one pick in the NBA draft lottery tonight. That is your mission. Drop that in the chat now, and we're going to give out 2 winners. So hit that chat with those right there. Matt, I'm going to kick it to you. Any thoughts on a big streak like that with the Diamondbacks, 1-17 their last 18? Anything come to your mind?
Well, the number one pick will be Cade Cunningham, but that won't be for a while. But, there is kind of Eric, there's no mathematical sense to it. Just like, there was 14 straight years that heads came up or something in the Super Bowl, or tails. I forget which one it was. So theoretically that shouldn't keep going, but it does seem like when a team either ends a losing streak or ends a winning streak, that kind of either, keeps going in that direction for a couple of days. But I don't put any like actual facts into it. Just like tonight, I don't think they're going to beat Freddie Peralta. So I don't think it'll matter tonight. But again, I'm a lineup guy too. So I'm like, Anthony Rizzo's out, so now the Cubs total just dropped. So I'm more like that guy. That's why you guys have it tough in the morning with early edge picking so early. I mean, I definitely I'm a wait till the last minute kind of guy. So I respect all your wins doing that so early. That's impressive.
No, understandable. Justin, throw the same question to you.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. Momentum is a real thing in baseball. Teams do get hot. They go on streaks. They find ways to win the same way that teams find ways to lose. No one really thought the Diamondbacks were going to get to that big of a streak of losing. There were situations where they were expected to win, expected to have some underdog value. There were sharp groups betting the Arizona Diamondbacks throughout that whole losing streak. You got a feel for them, but they were doing it every night. Mike and I had been talking about that. It was kind of interesting to see. But, I don't usually try to take that into too much account. What I care more for is something like how the players perform in those situations. How, like I talked about how bad the Rockies are on the road. It's not necessarily that, they are this % bad, you must bet on that trend. It's more like look at the player performance in those scenarios and see why they are that bad and continue to bet on them in that scenario because they're not performing, not because they strictly continue to cash a bet.
I love it. Now, good news for everybody here. We have one winner already. Chewbacca 4. You are our winner. Welcome to SportsLine. Welcome to the team. Your subscription is in. Congratulations. And our second one is in. Dude Goods, welcome in as well. So Chewbacca 4, Dude Goods, welcome. Congratulations. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody. Now, another question. We're going to stay in Major League Baseball here really quickly. I've seen a couple questions in the chat regarding the St. Louis Cardinals at the Tigers tonight. I understand that I don't think that we have any, set plays, and I'm not necessarily asking that by any means, but we've seen a lot of people interested in that game. Justin, I'm going to throw it to you first. We've got the Cardinals. Last I saw, I believe, around a 115 money line, around 8.5 total. Any thoughts on that game tonight?
Yeah, I know someone pretty sharp who's playing that game. It's going to be a good one. I won't talk on it too much just because I know Mike is actually playing it. But Tariq Skubal, the only number that he has that's like above average in terms of his expected rates is his strikeout rate. Everything else is kind of low. Just to give you a rundown on how he's been doing in regards to some of these numbers. We're seeing bottom 3% in barrel percentage. Bottom 3 percentile. Sorry. So he's basically getting barreled up all the time. This is exactly the type of hitting you want to avoid. As we briefly mentioned, he's been a little bit all or nothing. The chase rate isn't really high, even though the K rate is. So that means he's placing his pitches. And if he misses and if he can't, he's getting walloped essentially. But I'll pass it to Mike and let him talk a little bit more about why he's playing this.
Yeah, M squared. Yeah, I didn't mean to cut your legs off there, brother. Go ahead, man.
No, you're good. We got multiple plays on this one. I have money line and run line, both a full unit on each play. So pretty significant wager for me on the Cardinals tonight. Love them against left-handed pitching. Love their plate discipline against left-handed pitching. That is something that's also new to them. And frankly, the reason why they've been so much better against left-handed pitching than right-handed pitching, they are walking at about a 10% clip against left-handed pitching. If Skubal is off in any way, shape, or form, and a lot of it's not even necessarily him being off, he's just not getting the chase that has frankly allowed him to have such a strong strikeout rate at times. I think that's what you're going to see here from the Cardinals tonight. So absolutely all over it. Simulations make them minus 129, a good 14, 15 cents of value in this one. Also great value thanks to our friends at William Hill. The run line plays over there. Definitely getting a lot more value. Like the run line price at William Hill is 15 cents different than all the other major books that I have access to. So on both of those plays.
Love it. Severance, your thoughts here?
Yeah, I didn't play this game, but if I did, I'd do the Tigers on the run line just because they've been pretty competitive at home. Skubal does have a 2.4 something ERA in his last three. It's weird. I backed the Cardinals against Atlanta the other night because they were facing lefty, but they're only 2-8 in their past 10 against American League lefties. I don't know what the difference would be there, but yeah, I didn't play this game, but that's what I would, like I said, I love home dogs at a good run line price. That's like a big thing I always hit.
All right, I love it, man. Let's look at one more MLB game, and Justin, I'm going to throw this one to you, just because you had such success last night, especially late. You nailed it right at the time. Let's look at the Astros and the Orioles. All right, so we've got the Astros on a monster money line here, roughly 180, 190, maybe even 200 at this point, a total 9.5. Astros have won 8 straight. Orioles have lost 11 of the last 12. What are your thoughts here, buddy?
Yeah, so this is going to be the game I have my third play in. Like you mentioned, I was sitting there after that rain delay, watching the umpires just totally mismanage this game because they tried to keep it going through the rain because of the no-hit bid. It was kind of funny. Angel Hernandez walks out to the mound and hands the Baltimore pitcher a towel in this torrential downpour as the field is just soaking through. And just like, if he had called the game 5 minutes earlier, it would have taken about half the time to clean it up. But I'm going right back to that over. I somehow was sitting there and called the home run to break up the no-hit bid and cash the over. Sometimes just when you're hot, you're hot. But I'm going right back to it. The Astros pose a threat to get this against Jorge Lopez on any given night by themselves. I do not think we see the similar type of dominance from the Houston Astros pitching staff, and I think we can count on the Orioles to help us a little bit towards this total. We are getting it under double digits tonight, likely because of the decreased hitting environment that we saw from yesterday. But again, the Astros really should crush this team. I really don't hate going run line on them. I have a little bit on that myself, and then even a smaller sprinkle on the alternate -2.5 run line because, again, the Astros really should just dominate the Orioles. Little disclaimer, there is some sharp money coming in on Boston. There are people who are seeing this as a decent value. Hard for me to back that. Again, I do see the Astros as the most effective offense in baseball right now.
Matt Severance, your thoughts?
Oh,
I think you're on mute, buddy.
Yeah, he's muted.
I thought it was the echo problem. It looks like it's dropping now, but if I could have got it at 10, I probably would have gone under. Correa's out of the lineup. Of course, they still don't have Bregman. Greinke should dominate a very weak Orioles lineup. Santander's still out of the lineup for Baltimore. The wind's blowing in a little bit. It's going to be kind of wet. So that'd be my one play on this game would be the under. But the way Orioles pitching they might give up 9-10 runs in the top of the first.
Nice. M squared, your thoughts, buddy?
Yeah, very similar thoughts across the board. The Astros are the better team here, but if I played it, it would be an alternate run line -2, -2.5, something in that range.
I like it now.
Into plus money.
Yeah. Justin, I'm going to kick it to you. We got a question for you in the chat. Erica Taylor wants to know an NBA prop for you for tonight. Hit it, buddy.
All right. Yeah, sure. So let's go. I'm going to reiterate what my guy Mad Max in the Thunderdome has been saying. We've been getting a lot of great props from this kid. I'll use Larry's classic line. Not even sure how his mom lets him give out plays this good. But you want to know what? We're going to roll with that DeAndre Ayton prop going over on the points. I really think that he's going to be involved in the scoring tonight, and that they're going to need him to be involved in the scoring in order to open up some of the shooters that Phoenix needs to win. Then if you want a second one, I'm probably leaning over on the campaign assists again. And like Mike said, if you really believe in both of those lines, you're probably also going to take Mikal Bridges on the points, because he's likely going to benefit from both those players playing in that type of game. So there's 3 for you. Again, none are full plays for me. I know Max is definitely on that 8 and prop, but that's how I would approach the game if I was going to play a couple props tonight.
M squared.
Yeah, so the biggest model edge is Mikal Bridges, 12.5 even money if you can still get it. That one's cleared by 2.7 points. And again, you're getting even money on it. So that's a significant edge at this point in the NBA season. The note is just things get incredibly efficient at this point, as they have one game to forecast. It's a series. They've seen each other. Everyone's very comfortable. But that, and just make correlated plays, right? So you're betting over on 8 and rebounds and things like that, like potentially shy away from things like triple doubles on Devin Booker, right? So because those two events are absolutely correlated. He's going to have to steal 2 to 3 rebounds from Ayton for that math to work out, right? So just make smart correlated plays. If you have questions, ask them on Twitter. And that's all I got on that one.
Yeah, nobody better on Twitter than you, man. You respond to a whole lot of people. You take care of a lot of people. I see it every day. Matt Severance, your thoughts, buddy? NBA props tonight.
Reggie Jackson over 19.5 points, minus 105. Like I said, we talked about earlier, he's going to get 15 shots at least. Paul George can't play all 48 minutes. So if he gets his 15 shots, his 8 free throws, he should have little problem getting 20 points.
I love it. Well, that's about all the time that we have for today. Show's wrapping up. We want to thank everyone for tuning in. Seriously, joining in the chat. Those who won a subscription, congratulations. Those who didn't, come back tomorrow. You get your opportunity to do it. So, for Mike McClure, Justin Perri, Matt Severance, Coach, Larry, everybody, we want to say thank you. And let's make some money tonight.
Indeed.
Do you want best bets in your feed every single day? All you have to do is hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Early Edge.